Yo, what is up, you guys? Just got back from hitting a nice 5 mile run and taking a bunch of calls with clients, helping people out. And I figured I'd just jump on and give you guys some value. And I'm gonna share with you the best way to make an additional 3 to 7K per month online. This is assuming you are working either a full-time job or you're like in college or something that basically constitutes those same hours. And this is specifically good for men between the ages of 18 to 24, mainly just because I'm also a man between the ages of 18 to 24, and so I can kind of relate to you guys, but if you're slightly older than that, this will work for you too. But anyways, this video is perfect for you if you're a young man in college or working a 9 to 5 job and you're looking for a way to level up in life, again, between those ages. Or you're somebody who's interested in making an additional 3 to 7K per month online, but you aren't clear on exactly what you need to do to get started. Maybe you're looking around for how to make money online, but nothing's really clicking or nothing's really moving for you right now. You also could be somebody who's on what I call a self-improvement arc. So you've been in the gym, you've been connecting with God, you've been focusing on your relationship with women and things like that, but the financial aspect of your self-improvement is still lacking. And this video is also perfect for you if you're committed to working hard and you're willing to do what it will take to be successful, because the reality is there is no magic button that you can go click that's going to pay you $5,000. There's no secret fancy business model that's going to go drop you 10 grand from the sky. And if you're looking for that stuff and you still think that stuff is real and that you can day trade your way to success, or you can find a meme coin and make 10 grand off of it, if that's still your mentality, then unfortunately you just haven't gone through enough pain in life yet for me to be able to help you. And so what I'd recommend for you is to just keep going and keep watching dumb business models that don't actually give you any value and don't actually teach you anything, and just fail a little bit more. And once you get to a certain point, you'll realize that none of that shit actually works. And then you'll come back here and you'll realize that what I'm about to say might actually just be the thing that changes your life, but it's not going to be easy. And so who am I? My name is Trevor. I'm 22 years old, and I am a college dropout because I attended college in 2020 as a freshman during like the COVID year or whatever, and I was majoring in mechanical engineering. And the only reason I was majoring in mechanical engineering is because I thought after I graduated college, I'd be able to make 6 figures a year. It was a high-paying career. That was it. So my entire objective the entire time was just to get into a good financial situation. Very quickly, I realized that going through college, you have to acquire a ton of debt. Not to mention, if you do graduate with all that debt, you might not even get hired. And then even if you do get hired, then you have to you're stressed out 24/7. You have no real like freedom to do what you want, when you want, where you want. And you have to basically save up money to pay back your student loans. And you're stuck in this kind of cycle until the age of like 50, where by that time, can't even really do much with, with money anyways, to be honest. So I decided that I was going to start to learn how to make money online, but just like most people, I fell into a bunch of shitty business models. I tried drop shipping for a little bit. It sucked. I did affiliate marketing for a little bit. I made actually a little bit of money, but it wasn't very scalable. And then I had a dark realization. And I'll talk about this in a second and how this applies to you, but I realized that I could make any business model work if I had skills. And after having that realization, I started building skills. And as a byproduct of that, I went from zero, complete zero, maybe $1,000 in my bank account, to $55,000 a month in 2 years. And I'm going to show you how. So, assuming that these 4 things kind of resonate with you, if that's you, here's what I'm going to promise you and provide to you in this training. I'm going to give you actual clarity on the best roadmap for beginners to follow, like yourself, that will guarantee you will make money in the next 90 to 120 days. No stupid ass business models that don't actually work. Real business models that are a little bit more boring, but actually make money and build skills so that you can become the person worthy of making the money you want to make. Then I'm going to give you an in-depth overview of the current business models that are out there and how what I'll show you and I'll prove to you that it'll be miles better, and how it will ensure you will be successful not only now but also in the future. So no like shitty business model where you can make 10 grand in the next 30 days, but then it dies after that. And no like stupid trends as well. Like no business models that just came out recently. They're brand new, they're new shiny, and they're gonna work for the next 2 months. But then after that, they're gonna get saturated and then they're gonna die. Like none of that BS crap that you usually hear from all these dorks that talk about making money. And then lastly, I'm gonna give you a simple and proven step-by-step strategy that you can use to get started yourself. Cool? Let's get into it. What truly is the best business model? This is the question. The unfortunate reality is that you have been lied to. And it's not your fault. All of the dorks that create content about how to make money online, they are lying to your face, and they get away with it. The dark reality is that 99.9% of business models are too sophisticated for beginners. They either require too much upfront capital, or they require you to learn multiple skill sets to make that business model work. And as a beginner, when you have a bunch of different moving pieces involved, it usually doesn't work out too well. What do I mean? Well, let's look at some examples. The way that you are taught by most people is the exact opposite of what should actually be taught. I'll show you what I mean in a second. But it's the reason that most of these people, they talk about these different ways to make money online, and then they run like a coaching program or a course on how to make money, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but because of what they're actually providing in terms of value, their programs have like a 5% success rate. So think about it. Let's take the most common example, dropshipping. The business model of dropshipping itself requires you to find good products, which is a skill. It requires you to be a good marketer for how to effectively persuade somebody into buying that product, which is a skill. And then it requires you also to be good behind the camera at creating content or running ads, which, trust me, those are probably two of the hardest skills that you can ever learn. And so in order to make dropshipping work, you need not just one of these skills. You need all three working at the exact same time. And if you go down the ads route, you have to spend money for it. Talk about a nightmare waiting to happen. Then you have business models like SMMA. You have to do service delivery. You have to do outreach. You have to do sales. You have to do appointment setting. You have to retain your clients. Yeah. 5 different things moving at the same time. E-com. You have to find good products. You have to create content. You have to be a good marketer, or you have to learn how to run ads. Bunch of moving pieces. And so these people are teaching you these business models, but this is the exact opposite of what you want to do. In an ideal world, as a beginner, if you're just looking to add 3 to 5K per month in income, but you also want to get it to the point where it can grow over time, your only objective should be to find a business model that requires you to learn and focus on building one skill and requires no capital. As a beginner, you should focus on finding a business model that requires one skill. You're going to learn that skill, you're going to make money, and then once you start to master that skill, then you can add additional skills on top of that, instead of doing what most gurus tell you, where they tell you a business model that requires 3 skills at once. This is why nobody succeeds with that shit. Business model, one skill, requires no capital, and a business model that can scale beyond 3 to 5K per month once you hit it, to eventually allow you to leave your 9 to 5 job, where then you can focus all in on that thing. You can have a bunch of free time on your hands, and in that free time, you can focus on skill stacking to get rich. So you make 3 to 5K per month with that one skill. Then once you have enough money stored away, you quit your 9 to 5 job, or you pull back your hours, whatever it is. You go all in on that thing that's making you 3 to 5K per month, There's a good chance you'll double it just off of the fact that you put more effort into it. And then with your free time, you acquire more skills after you've done that. And you get rich. You go for making 20, 30, 50K per month like I'm doing. And the business model that you're going to want to choose is info product sales. Quite simply, it focuses on building the one skill of sales. You work in the niche of info products, which is a booming industry right now. And it doesn't require upfront capital. You can start to make 3 to 5K per month. Then you can take those same exact skills and use them when you eventually run your own business and stack even more skills on top of that. This is the vision and this is the formula. Now, how does info product sales actually work? First, you become a part of an existing online business in the high ticket space that is already semi-successful. So a business that's already making $20, $30, $40, $50,000 per month, or maybe even more than that, you're going to join their business as a team member. What is this going to allow you to do? Well, first off, when you start doing sales with them, it allows you to focus again on building that one skill and making a little bit of money. But most importantly of all, and this is the most important thing, when you go in and work with that business, it allows you to see the insides of how they run that business at that scale. And it allows you to pick up insights so that you can eventually run a business like that. Make sense? Cool. As an appointment setter, you'll effectively manage their DM inbox and book sales appointments. So you'll work with a business, you'll manage their DM inbox and book sales appointments. Super easy to do. You don't need good English because you're not talking to anybody, you're typing messages. I was making 5K per month just doing this. And in fact, I spent an entire month in Mexico because I just felt like it because I was working totally remote. I spent an entire month in Mexico as an appointment setter, sending messages from my phone, making bank. As a closer, this is where you would actually take the sales appointments that the appointment setter books. So the appointment setter books the appointment, the closer takes the appointment. This is obviously a lot harder, but can make you a lot more money. And so for me, I went from making like 5K per month as a setter to making 10 to 12 to 15K per month as a closer. And then my income scaled even further beyond that. And basically, regardless of which one you do, you would receive a commission for each new sale you bring in. The business is already getting leads, you just have to convert them, either into sales appointments or you have to take the sales appointments and convert them into cash. You'd be helping sell a $2,000 to $10,000 info product or a digital service for a business owner. Most appointment setters get paid 5 to 10%. So if you sell a $2,000 item, that's anywhere from $100 to $200. Most closers get paid 10% or more. So if you close somebody on a $2,000 item, you get paid $200 or more. To make $10,000 a month, you need to help bring in 10 sales on a $10,000 offer and receive a 10% commission. And that's honestly doable. I have students in the program right now hitting 10K per month. Is everybody going to do it? No. Is it possible? 100%. Cool. Now, before you get started, maybe at this point you're like, okay, Trevor, I'm interested. Maybe I'm not fully in yet, but I'm interested. Tell me more. I don't want to tell you more because first you must be in the right headspace. Before I even talk about how to start making money with this, how to get this process going, what you need to do to make this work, you need to get your head straight. And I need to make sure that your head is straight first before talking about that, because if you think that this is going to be some clown show and it's going to be super easy, you're going to fail with this. That's the reality. The reason most people never find success with online business that they initially thought was possible is because they have unrealistic expectations. So, sound familiar? This is what gurus will tell you. They'll tell you that making money online is super easy. They'll tell you that it'll be super simple. And they'll tell you that it'll be super fast. You can make 10K per month in the next 30 days. This is wrong and this is bullshit. Is it doable? Yes, but this will be hard. This will get complicated at some points, and you will be confused and lost at some points. And this will take longer than you think. Depends. It's not going to take 10 years if you think it's going to take 10 years, but it's going to take more than what most gurus tell you in terms of oh, you can go make 10K per month in the next 30, 60 days. Bullshit. If you're wanting a realistic timeline to hit 5 to 10K per month, or let's just say 10K per month, if you want a realistic timeline to hit 10K per month, give yourself a year. If you want a realistic timeline to hit 3 to 5K per month, give yourself like 4 to 6 months. Cool. This is the beginner's loop, and this is where most people get stuck. And this might sound familiar, especially if you've been analyzing different business models or even trying some of them. So you start off by doing a little bit of research. Maybe you're on YouTube and you're looking up how to make money online, or maybe you see a video that attracts you and you're like, okay, this is interesting, and you're doing research, right? You start to watch some video, maybe you're taking some notes, maybe you even buy some courses, and you get overwhelmed with all the information. And this overwhelm actually leads you into doing more analysis and more research. Like I talked to some people that are interested in working with me, and they've been watching YouTube videos on how to make money online for the past 6 months. That is insane. So research leads you to be more overwhelmed, which leads you to do more research, which brings you back to being motivated, which leads you to do more research, and you just stay stuck in this loop. And it's bad, because this can go forever. Like 6 months is bad, but I'm sure there's somebody watching this video right now that's like literally been doing this shit, just like looking at different business models and just watching YouTube videos from people for like a year or more. And you have to break out of this. You have to commit a set amount of time to doing learning and research after your 9 to 5 job. And then you need to pick a day. You're going to mark it on your calendar. I don't care when it is, but you have to commit to picking a day. And you're going to pick a day when you're going to finally stick to a business model and you're going to take action on it. You're going to buy that course, you're going to buy that mentorship, or at the very least, you're going to try that business model and actually start with it. Otherwise, you'll just keep staying stuck. And the sad reality is failing is nowhere near as bad as staying in the same exact situation for 10 plus years. That should terrify you. Staying in the same spot for months, years on end with no progress should deeply and mortally terrify you. So, what do you actually need to be successful with info product sales? Well, the first thing you need is you need a phone or a laptop, preferably both. You need to be able to spend at least 4 hours a day on this. So before your job, after your job, figure it out. You have 4 hours a day too, by the way. You do. You just have to want it bad enough. You also need to scale your skill of sales. So what does this mean? Well, in the beginning, you might not be that good. And so you might not make that much money. You might be making like $2,000, $3,000 a month. And you might be like, well, Trevor, that'd be life-changing. That's good to hear. But the reality is your skill might just be here, and now you're making like 2 to 3K per month, which really isn't that much. But as your skill gets better and as you progress, your income follows. And so this is what it looks like in sales. Your skill scales. And then lastly here, and then I promise I'll talk about how to get started, you need to understand the rule of 3. And the rule of 3 basically is as follows. In life, we have 3 currencies. We have time, we have skills, and we have money. If you want more of one of them, so you're probably watching this video and you want more money, then you have to trade the other 2 to get it. So money, if you want more money, you have to trade your time and your skills to get money. If you want more time, for whatever reason, you have to trade your money and your skills to buy your time back. If you want more skills, you have to trade your money and your time. And so basically how this formula works, if you want more money, you need to trade your time, again, times your skills. But here's the problem. What if you have no skills? What if you don't know what you're doing with sales? Then your mission should actually be to build skills first. And be honest with yourself. If you don't have skills right now, focus on building skills first, because you need it to make money. And so what you actually have to do, and this might suck if you're watching this video right now, but I had to do this, and it genuinely can change your life. You might have to spend some money and some time to go acquire a skill. When you acquire that skill, then you trade some time of actually executing that skill, and then your money skyrockets. And just about any successful person that you watch does this. They trade their money because money is simply just a tool. They trade their money to acquire skills so that they can make more money. This is how I've gotten to 55K per month. I was going to say this is how I've gotten to the top, but I'm nowhere near the top. This is how I've gotten to 55K per month at 22 years old. It's by following this exchange over and over and over again. Did it suck that I had to buy courses and coaching programs to build skills when I didn't have much to work with? Yes. But it helped me make more money so that I could spend more money on courses and coaching programs to build more skills to make more money. And that process is going to keep happening. And so you have to understand this, and you have to basically do a deep analysis on where you are in life right now to figure out what the next best step is for you based on what you want. Cool. Now, how do we actually get started? Finally, took 20 minutes, but that stuff is very important. So, how do we actually get started? Now that we understand the opportunity in front of us, how do we actually take advantage and become an appointment setter? The reason I say appointment setter is because most beginners start off as an appointment setter. You can go straight for being a closer, but I would highly recommend investing into a mentor or into a coaching program to build your skill if you plan on doing that, because unless you have previous experience of some sort, it's a big jump. Going from zero to appointment setter is a much smaller jump, but going from zero to closer is a big, massive jump. Going from zero to appointment setter, though, pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Basically, the first thing you need to do is you need to find ideal clients. And so ideal clients, you want to work in businesses that sell high-ticketed items. Items that are $2,000 or more. That's the first thing you want to look for. 2K plus. You also want to work in a business that's already making $20,000 a month or more. Pardon the sloppy handwriting, but you're just going to have to deal with it. If it offends you too much, you can leave the video. You also want to work with a business that wants to grow. And I'll explain each of these in a second. And then lastly, you want to work with a business that is mission-led, or they have a good vision. Mission-led. We'll just keep it as L. So, why is this important? Well, if you're doing appointment setting, again, you get paid 5 to 10% commission on every deal that closes. If it's $2,000, or incrementally, if the price gets more expensive, the more money you make per sale. And what's shocking, and you might not know this, but this is the reality of the world, it takes about the same amount of effort to sell a $2,000 item as it does to sell a $5,000 item. Both of them take the same effort and have the same sales process. And so if you're an appointment setter for a $5,000 item, you get paid 5 to 10% of that, which is $250 to $500. If you're an appointment setter for a $2,000 item, you can still make good money, but it's just what's more efficient. And so you need to sell for a product that's at least $2,000. Now, you also need to work in a business that's at least making $20,000 a month. Think about it. If a business is making $10,000 a month and they pay you 5% of their business to be an appointment setter, now you're only making $500 a month. And maybe that'll change your life, but if you really look at the unit economics of it, working 4 hours a day on a part-time gig to make $500 a month would be the same as getting $1,000 a month at a full-time gig. And that's not worth it. That's like working at McDonald's. You can probably get a better wage than that. So you need to work with a business at the very least that's making $20,000 a month. If they give you 5 to 10% of their business, that means they're giving you anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a month. But then it's the same thing as this. The closer it is to this, this is a minimum standard. If you have a business that's making 50, 100K, $1 million a month, that's a little bit better. But 20K is like the absolute minimum. You also need a business that's growing. So if you go and work with a business that's making 20K per month, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, you can get paid $1,000 to $2,000 a month from that. But if the business is focused on growing and is elevating, then your income will also elevate. The problem is some people make $20,000 a month and they get complacent and they're really happy with their business and they're coasting. And this is why you not only need a business that is wanting to grow, but a good way to find this is if they're mission led. Because if somebody's making $20,000 a month, but they're mission led, they don't give a fuck about the money. They just want to help more people. And so as a byproduct of that, they constantly have a desire to grow their business, which means if you work with them, your money will keep going up because they have an actual purpose behind why they're doing what they do. Make sense? Cool. If it doesn't make sense, just go watch it again. Outreach. So what I recommend doing in terms of outreach is using Instagram. You're going to find people like this all over the place on Instagram. And the first thing that you're going to want to do is what I call the chaining method. So you're going to scour through Instagram and find somebody that's meeting this criteria here. Once you find one person, you're starting the domino effect. So finding the first person is probably the hardest part. Once you find that one person, you're going to go to their profile on Instagram. You're going to look at the people that they follow, and you're going to scroll through, and you're going to find a lot more people. And then when you find a lot more people, you're going to go to the people that they follow, and you're going to find a lot more people, and it kind of branches off into like a tree, if that makes sense. In terms of sending them over a message, I would keep it super straightforward. Throw in some sort of personalization like, hey, Johnny, I was just going across your profile on Instagram, and I love the content. I really like how you talk about XYZ in your videos. Sorry for coming in cold here, but I was curious if you're looking for anybody to help you grow your business as an appointment setter or a closer. I have a good amount of experience and I want to help. Let me know if you'd be interested and I can send you over a video introducing myself. Super, super simple, super hard to say no to, not pushy, not needy, works really well. Then they're going to be like, sure, you can send over an interview. After you do enough messages, you're going to start sending over a video introduction. Then once they're interested in that, you guys are going to jump on an interview. And to crush an interview, it's basically like, if you think about a corporate interview, a lot of the cases you go to that corporate interview and they ask you questions, like the boss or the CEO asks you questions the whole time. That's not the case for this online stuff. You'll still have that dynamic where they'll ask you questions and they'll like make sure that you're actually a good person and that you can actually help them. But how to really crush it in this online game is after they ask you all the questions, now you start asking them questions. Like, and then you guys can literally just use all this stuff. What's the price of your program? How do you help people? How much money do you make per month? What's your business goals in the next 6 months? Why did you start this business? Things of that nature. When you ask questions like this, it'll make it seem as if you actually know what you're doing, which puts you in the best possible position to crush it and actually land the job. And then when you're in the job, you're gonna start setting appointments and crushing it and making money. So I could be on here all day and I could probably expand on this, but I actually have a longer video. It's an 80-minute masterclass that goes in depth on exactly what you guys need to do for that. I'll throw the link to that in the description or whatever, and you guys can check that out and get some value out of that. Here's the thing though. The reality is you can go ahead and try this on your own. The problem is it's going to take you a lot more time, and the likelihood that you actually push through it and make it work is going to be lower than if you work with me as your one-on-one coach. And the reason why is I've actually been through this entire thing myself, and I've already helped dozens of young men go through this exact same process. And so you can probably tell by my tonality in this video and the fact that I'm not stuttering or jumbling over my words. I actually know what I'm doing in this regard. And so if you're actually serious about wanting to make money online, you want to make this happen for whatever reason it is for you, and you want to increase the likelihood that this actually works for you, because if you work with me, it will work. And on top of that as well, you want to kind of shortcut the process and speed up the time of running into all the headaches that you would just trying it on your own. Then I'd love to extend an invitation for you to work with me in my one-on-one coaching program. I run a one-on-one coaching program where I work with young men and I run you guys through this exact same stuff. And if you thought the information here about like getting your head in the right space and like proving why this is the right business model with actual logic and not emotion and stuff like that, if you thought this was good, like you're going to be blown away by the material inside of the one-on-one program. And I'll keep it at that. If you're interested in joining, all you have to do is go to the second link in the description under the 80-minute masterclass that I mentioned earlier. Go to the second link, click that. It'll open up a calendar. You'll fill out a quick form and you'll book a time with me where you and I will jump on a quick 30-minute Zoom call, or give or take. I'm going to ask you some questions to get a good idea of where you're at right now in life and also where you want to get to. What does your goals actually look like? And I'm going to see if I can even help you. Because if you have too small of goals, or if you want to make 10K per month in the next 30 days, then maybe I can't help you. And then if I think I can help you based on what we talk about there, then I'll run you through what the program looks like, what the price of it is, how it works for you specifically, and things like that. So if you're interested in that, again, second link in the description. But other than that, hopefully you guys got some value out of this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you have any questions, let me know. But you guys take care and have a fantastic rest of your night.